Let me tell you something. There's something about you that the world can't quite figure out. You walk into a room and people pause. They glance once, then look again. They whisper to each other, "How do they look so young? What's their secret?" Some will say it's genetics. Others will guess it's your skincare routine. A lucky break. A miracle product. But deep down, you and I both know that's not the truth. Not the whole truth, at least. Because what they don't see is what's happening beneath the surface. They don't see the invisible choices you make every day. The strength it takes to keep your spirit light in a heavy world. The decision to protect your peace when everything around you tries to steal it. See, looking young, it's not just about the mirror. It's about the energy you carry, the spark that refuses to die out, the way you show up in life, not with bitterness, but with boldness. That's what they can't name, but they feel it when you enter the room. You've probably noticed it. People are drawn to you, but can't explain why. Strangers tell you that you look younger than your age. Friends ask what you're doing differently. But here's the thing, they're looking for the answer in bottles, serums, and routines, while the real secret lives within you. Because some people age with every struggle, every disappointment, every scar they hold on to. But you've done something different. You've risen. You've endured. And whether you've realized it or not, you've made choices that have kept you youthful in ways the world doesn't understand. So today, let's make it clear. Let's pull back the curtain. Because what you carry is rare. And you deserve to know exactly why people can't quite put a number on you. You deserve to understand what makes you different, what makes you radiant. There are 7 hidden reasons why you look younger than your age. And once you recognize them, you'll realize this was never about luck. It's about how you live. Shall we begin? It starts with something most people overlook. Not the skin, not the eyes, not the smile, but the heart. Your heart is light, not weighed down by resentment, not burdened by grudges that have been festering for years. And whether you know it or not, that changes everything. Because most people walk around carrying invisible chains. Chains made of old wounds, past betrayals, moments they replay over and over like a sad movie they can't stop watching. They hold on to anger like it's armor, not realizing it's poison. And little by little, that weight shows. It etches itself into their faces. It clouds their expressions. It drains the color from their eyes. You can see it, even when they try to hide it. You can feel it, too. But you've chosen something else. Maybe it wasn't a dramatic decision. Maybe it happened quietly over time. But somewhere along the way, you decided not to let the past define you. You decided that peace was more valuable than being right. That healing was more powerful than holding a grudge. And because of that, you walk differently. You carry yourself differently. You glow. Forgiveness, real forgiveness, is not about saying what happened was okay. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about deciding that your future matters more than your past. It's about choosing freedom over suffering. And the science backs this up. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness have lower stress levels, healthier hearts, and even slower aging on a cellular level. That's not magic, it's biology. Because when you hold on to anger, your body stays tense. Your muscles tighten. Your sleep suffers. Your immune system weakens. And over time, that stress ages you faster than time itself. But when you let go, when you truly release the resentment, the bitterness, the need for revenge, your body breathes again. Your face softens. Your energy becomes lighter, more magnetic. You sleep better. You feel clearer. And without even trying, you start to look different. Lighter. Younger. Alive. People won't be able to put their finger on it. They'll assume you found a miracle cream or changed your diet. But what they're really seeing is a heart that chose peace. A spirit that's not dragging years of emotional weight behind it. A person who has faced pain and said, "You don't get to live in me anymore." And yes, letting go is hard. It takes courage. It takes strength. Sometimes it takes everything you have. But when you do it, when you truly forgive, it's like setting yourself free from a prison you didn't even realize you were in. That kind of freedom doesn't just change your life. It changes your face, your posture, your presence. You've probably met people who are young in years but feel old. Not because of their wrinkles, but because of their energy. They wear their pain like a second skin. Every word is heavy. Every movement is tired. Their smile, if it comes at all, is strained and thin. And then there are people like you. People who radiate something the world can't quite name. People who've been through hell and still somehow shine. People whose hearts are soft, not because they haven't been hurt, but because they refuse to let that hurt harden them. You're one of those people. And that's not luck. That's not chance. That's a choice. One you make again and again, every time you choose peace over pain, release over resentment, healing over history. You don't wear your past on your skin. You don't carry your pain in your eyes. And that is why you don't look your age. That's why people are drawn to you. That's why time seems to hesitate when it comes to you. Because peace is powerful. And a peaceful heart, that's timeless. There's also something else. Something so simple that most people overlook it completely. Your smile. It's in the way your face lights up without warning. The way your laughter cuts through the noise. The way your eyes sparkle even when you're not trying to impress anyone. That smile, it's not just beautiful. It's powerful. And whether people realize it or not, that's part of what makes you look younger than your years. See, the world is full of people who've forgotten how to smile. Not the forced smile for photos. Not the polite smile at a coworker. But the real kind. The smile that rises from within, because something in you still believes in joy. Still believes in moments worth laughing for. Still believes that life, despite its hardships, is beautiful. Most people frown more than they smile. They carry their stress on their foreheads, their disappointments in the corners of their mouths. Over time, that expression becomes permanent. The tension settles in. The eyes grow dim. The face forgets how to soften. And when that happens, youth slowly fades, not because of age, but because of emotion left unprocessed. But you're different. You've refused to let life harden you. You've felt sorrow, sure. You've had your share of heavy days. But you've never let them take your ability to smile. You still laugh. You still joke. You still find light in the dark. And that, more than any skincare routine, keeps you vibrant. Science backs this up too. Smiling releases a cocktail of chemicals in your brain, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, that reduce stress and elevate your mood. These chemicals lower your heart rate, relax your body, boost your immune system, and yes, slow the aging process. So when people say your smile is youthful, they're not just being kind. They're being accurate. And it's not just how others see you, it's how you feel in your own body. When you smile, even if you don't feel like it, your brain begins to shift. Your thoughts soften. Your energy changes. You become more open, more magnetic, more alive. That's why people feel lighter around you. That's why they feel safe. That's why they can't quite figure out what it is about you, but they know they like being near it. Because your smile carries something rare, unspoken joy. The kind that hasn't been stolen by bitterness. The kind that hasn't been worn down by regret. The kind that refuses to go away, even when life makes it hard to hold on to. Now, let's be honest. Life doesn't make it easy to smile. There are days when laughter feels impossible, when everything inside you wants to fold inward. But it's exactly in those moments, when you smile anyway, when you find a reason to choose joy, that you separate yourself from the crowd, that you become different, ageless, untouchable, because youth isn't just smooth skin or perfect features. It's energy, it's presence, it's how you move through the world. And when you move with joy, the years seem to move a little slower. Time loses its grip. You become someone people remember, not because of how you look, but because of how you made them feel. So keep smiling, not for the compliments, not for the image, but because joy is a form of strength. And when you wear it on your face, the world sees a version of you that never ages. A version that heals, that uplifts, that glows. That smile of yours, it's not just an expression, it's a declaration, a quiet, radiant way of saying, no matter what life throws at me, I'm still here, and I'm still choosing light. And that choice, every single day, is one of the greatest secrets to looking and feeling young. There's something unmistakable in people who live without fear. You can see it in the way they move, calm, steady, unshaken. You can hear it in their voice, clear, grounded, free of panic. You can feel it in their presence, something relaxed, something brave, something beautifully alive. And that's exactly what people feel when they're around you. See, fear leaves marks. Not just in the heart or the mind, but in the body. It shows up in the jaw that never unclenches, in the shoulders that stay tensed even when nothing is wrong, in the eyes that scan every room, anticipating something to go wrong. Over time, that fear becomes a habit, and habits become posture, and posture becomes age. Most people live in fear, even if they don't call it that. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of change. So they play it safe. They stay small. They avoid risks, shrink from opportunity, settle for comfort. And all the while they're aging, not because of time, but because of the stress they carry every single day. But not you. Somewhere along the way, you stopped letting fear be the boss of you. You still feel it, sure. You're human. But you don't let it dictate your path. You don't let it silence your voice. You don't let it keep you from living fully, even when things are uncertain. And that courage, that boldness, it's what keeps you young. Because when you live without fear, your whole being breathes easier. Your muscles soften. Your thoughts become clearer. Your energy flows freely, without resistance. You're not weighed down by imaginary battles. You're not frozen by the what-ifs. You're in motion. You're present. You're alive. And people notice. They may not say it out loud, but they feel something different when they talk to you. There's a steadiness in your gaze. A quiet confidence in the way you carry yourself. Not arrogance, just peace. Just the kind of peace that comes from knowing that whatever comes your way, you'll face it. You'll adapt. You'll rise. Fear is a thief. It steals time. It steals opportunities. It steals joy. But when you refuse to let it in, when you push through it anyway, you take your power back. You reclaim your freedom. And freedom, more than anything, is what keeps the human spirit young. You've probably seen it. People who are technically young, but look tired and old. They live under the weight of what might happen. What might go wrong. They hesitate at every turn, constantly doubting themselves, constantly second-guessing their every move. And it shows. Then there's you. You step forward. You take risks. You speak with conviction. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you create it. You trust yourself, not because you're fearless, but because you've learned that courage isn't about having no fear. It's about not letting fear win. And that's what makes you glow. That's what people see in you, but can't quite explain. They think it's good genes or some mysterious beauty trick. But it's not. It's how you breathe. It's how you move. It's how you live. Freedom lives in your posture. In your laugh. In the way your eyes don't dart around nervously, but stay grounded, focused, at peace. You carry a kind of energy that doesn't age, because it isn't held hostage by fear. So the next time someone says you look younger than your age, just smile. Because now you know it's not luck. It's not illusion. It's liberation. And nothing is more youthful than a soul that has chosen to live free. You've probably noticed this pattern. The moment people stop growing, something inside them begins to fade. It doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, subtle, almost unnoticeable at first. But over time, the sparkle in their eyes dims. Their energy dulls. Their days start blending together into routines that feel more like survival than living. It's not because they're old. It's because they stopped becoming more. You haven't. And that's part of your secret. You're still learning, still evolving, still curious about the world and what more you can give to it. You read. You reflect. You question. You challenge yourself to become better. Not because you're broken, but because you know growth is what keeps you alive. And that hunger, that passion to keep improving, it's what keeps you young. Because growth is motion, and motion is life. The moment you stop stretching, your spirit starts shrinking. The moment you stop reaching, your fire begins to flicker. But you keep reaching. You keep moving. You keep asking, what else is possible? And in doing so, you breathe energy into your own soul. There's a reason people who continue learning well into their later years seem younger than those half their age. It's because the mind and body are connected. When your mind stays sharp, your body follows. When your soul stays excited about the future, your energy rises to match it. People who settle, who choose comfort over challenge, may feel safe, but they slowly begin to disconnect from life itself. Their routines become cages. Their minds stiffen. Their dreams go quiet. And before long, it's not age that's taken over, it's stagnation. But you've refused to live that way. You've chosen discomfort over decay. You've accepted failure as part of the process. You've leaned into difficult conversations, tried new things, dared to be bad at something before becoming good. You've stayed teachable. And that humility, that openness, that willingness, it's what keeps your energy fresh. It shows up in the way you talk, in the way you listen, in the way you ask questions instead of assuming you know it all. People don't always understand how or why, but they sense something vibrant in you, something alive. You've probably seen the opposite. People who gave up on growing years ago. They stopped challenging their beliefs, stopped taking risks, stopped exploring what else they could become. And it shows. They might still smile. They might still function. But there's a kind of tiredness behind their eyes that has nothing to do with age. You don't carry that, because you still believe in more wisdom, more depth, more meaning. You're not chasing youth, you're embodying vitality. And the difference matters. True youth isn't about resisting age. It's about resisting stagnation. It's about refusing to be the same person next year that you are today. And you've chosen that path, not once, but over and over. You've chosen to keep growing, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. That's why you still light up when you talk about something you love. That's why your posture is alive with intention. That's why your energy doesn't settle. It expands. People notice it. They just don't always have the words for it. But now you do. You don't look young because you're afraid of getting old. You look young because your spirit never stopped becoming. You're still becoming. And that, more than anything else, is what makes you timeless. Let's talk about something most people never associate with youth. How much you've been through. Because strangely enough, one of the reasons you look younger is the strength you've gained from what tried to break you. See, most people believe that hardship ages you. And yes, in many cases, it does. It drains people, wears them down. You can see it in their eyes, the weight of all they've endured. You can hear it in their voice, the exhaustion, the resignation, the grief they never processed. They carry their pain like armor, like proof of how hard life has been. And over time, that heaviness starts to show. But you carry it differently. It's not that life's been easy for you. It hasn't. You've been tested. You've been knocked down. You've had nights where you questioned everything. Days where your heart felt like it might shatter. But here you are, still standing. Not just standing, but glowing. Because the pain didn't destroy you. It refined you. It sharpened your edges and softened your heart. It gave you empathy, depth, perspective. You learned to rise, not bitter, but better. And that's rare. You don't wear your scars like shame. You wear them like light. Not because you wanted them, but because you didn't let them define you. And that choice, the decision to keep going, to keep growing, to keep loving despite it all, that's what people feel when they're around you. That's the part of you that feels ageless. Resilience is a strange thing. It's invisible until it's needed. And when it appears, it doesn't shout. It whispers. It says, I've been through darkness, and I'm still choosing light. And that whisper, that quiet strength, lives in every cell of your body. That's why people are drawn to you without knowing why. Because your energy says, I've endured, I've healed, and I still believe in life. That belief, that strength, it protects you from the kind of stress that tears others down. It helps you recover faster, smile more genuinely, rest more deeply. It gives your body a reason to keep fighting, keep repairing, keep thriving. And that shows up in the way you look, the way you move, the way you live. Think about it. You've seen people who've let life defeat them. They've stopped trying, stopped believing. They've allowed disappointment to define them, grief to shrink them, bitterness to bury them. And even if they're still young in years, there's a tiredness in them that nothing seems to fix. But not you. You chose a different path. You felt the pain, but you didn't let it harden you. You faced the loss, but you didn't let it close your heart. You walked through the fire and came out with light in your hands. And that light, that energy, that refusal to be broken, that's what people see when they look at you and say, I don't know what it is, but they have something. They're right. You do. It's called resilience. And it's one of the most powerful anti-aging forces on Earth. Not because it changes your skin, but because it protects your soul. And when your soul is alive, everything else follows. So if you've ever wondered why, despite everything you've been through, you still glow, this is why. Because you didn't let it win. You didn't let it take you. You chose life. Again and again. And that choice has made all the difference. There's a kind of energy that can't be faked. A spark behind the eyes. A certain sharpness in the voice. A rhythm in your step that says, I have somewhere to go. I have something to give. I'm still in the game. That kind of presence, it comes from living with purpose. And you, whether you realize it or not, are someone who still carries that. It doesn't have to be a grand mission or some perfectly articulated life plan. Sometimes it's just a quiet knowing, deep in your chest, that your life still matters. That you're here for a reason. That your existence is still unfolding into something meaningful. Most people lose that. Not suddenly, but gradually. They stop dreaming. Stop reaching. They get caught in routines, distractions, and quiet disappointments. And one day, they look in the mirror and wonder where their fire went. Where the time went. Where they went. But you never stopped seeking. Never stopped caring. Never stopped trying to live a life that actually feels alive. You've allowed yourself to evolve. You've asked hard questions. You've chased things that made your heart beat faster. And you've refused to settle for a life that doesn't light you up. That's not small. That's everything. Purpose doesn't just give your life direction, it gives your body energy. Studies have shown that people who live with a sense of meaning live longer, experience fewer chronic illnesses, and recover faster from setbacks. Why? Because their will to live is stronger than the obstacles they face. And you can see it. You can feel it. People with purpose radiate something magnetic. Their presence is steady. Their face isn't rushed or frantic, it's focused. Their days aren't just tasks on a to-do list. Their life isn't just something they manage, it's something they engage with. Fully. You've probably seen the difference. Someone who drifts through life, waiting for the weekend, counting down the years to retirement, killing time, they fade. Not just in energy, but in spirit. The glow disappears. Their laughter thins. Their curiosity dries up. And no cream in the world can bring that youthfulness back. But someone who's still building, still becoming, still curious about what tomorrow holds. Their energy doesn't age. Their soul doesn't slow down. And even if their body shows signs of time, their presence remains ageless. That's what you carry. And maybe you've had seasons where you felt lost, where you questioned your direction. That's okay. Purpose isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's more about returning to yourself than chasing something outside of you. But you kept walking. You kept listening. You kept choosing to live with meaning, whatever that meant for you. And that choice, it fuels your glow. It brings color to your face, light to your voice, depth to your eyes. People may say, "You just seem so full of life." And that's exactly it. You're not full of things, you're full of life. That's what they're picking up on. That's what keeps you young. So if you've ever wondered why you still feel so connected to life, why your smile feels real, why your steps feel strong, why your energy lifts others even when you're tired, it's because there's still something inside you reaching forward. And as long as you keep reaching, you'll never grow old. Sometimes it's not what you say. It's not even what you do. It's simply how you show up. There's something about your presence that people notice. It's calm, steady, quiet, but undeniable. You walk into a room, and the energy shifts, not because you're loud or demanding attention, but because you're truly there. Not distracted, not performing, not proving, just present. That kind of presence is rare. In a world constantly rushing, constantly comparing, constantly chasing the next thing, most people forget how to simply be. But you haven't. You've learned to ground yourself, to breathe, to pause, to look someone in the eye and actually see them. And in doing so, you give off an energy that feels safe, real, timeless. You've probably been told things like, "I feel calm around you," or "I can breathe when I'm with you." That's not by accident. That's what happens when someone has made peace with themselves. When their mind isn't at war, their heart isn't racing to prove anything, and their soul isn't busy pretending. And here's the truth. Peace is magnetic. We crave it. We seek it, often in all the wrong places. But when someone carries it naturally, quietly, we can't help but be drawn in. And that peace, that stillness, it's not a sign of someone who's had an easy life. It's the mark of someone who's done the inner work. Someone who's faced the chaos and decided not to become it. Someone who knows how to create space between stimulus and response. That emotional clarity, that mental discipline, it shows up everywhere. In the way you speak, in the way you listen, in the way your face doesn't rush through emotion but rests in it. People may not be able to explain it, but they feel it. They feel the way time seems to slow down around you. And that's one of the most youthful energies a person can carry, the ability to be fully, unapologetically present. Because presence isn't just about where your body is, it's about where your attention is. And when you live with intention, when you approach every moment with awareness instead of autopilot, something shifts in you. Your stress softens, your breath deepens, your posture opens, and the world feels a little more real, a little more vivid. And while everyone else is speeding through life, aging with every anxious scroll, every unresolved thought, every restless night, you're here. You're grounded. You're not trying to escape this moment. You're inhabiting it. And that, more than anything, keeps you ageless. Because aging isn't just the body getting older, it's the soul getting scattered. It's the mind living 10 steps ahead or trapped in 10 years ago. But you've reclaimed the now. You've chosen to live where life actually happens. And that's where peace lives. That's where presence glows. That's where youth is preserved, not in the skin, but in the stillness. So no, your glow isn't from some secret product. It's not from a ritual or a routine. It's from the way you carry yourself through time, not chasing it, not fearing it, but walking beside it with grace. You don't look young because you've avoided life. You look young because you've met life fully. You've learned how to be here. And that presence, that unshakable, unhurried, undeniable presence, is something the world will never stop noticing. So if anyone ever asks you why you look younger than your age, why you carry this quiet strength, this effortless glow, this presence they can't quite explain, now you know. It's not the cream on your skin. It's not the number on your birth certificate. It's the fire that hasn't gone out. The peace you chose over pain. The laughter you chose over bitterness. The growth you welcomed when it would have been easier to stay the same. It's how you've walked through heartache and came out kinder. How you've faced fear and kept moving anyway. How you've forgiven what tried to break you, not because it deserved it, but because you did. It's how you still dream, still smile, still rise, even when no one's watching. People spend years, sometimes a lifetime, searching for the secret to youth. They chase treatments, trends, and illusions, hoping to hold on to something the world says is slipping away. But you found something deeper. And it's not slipping, it's growing. Because true youth isn't frozen in time. It's fueled by the choices you make, every single day. To love, to let go, to grow, to show up. To believe that this life, with all its messiness and beauty, is still worth living with your whole heart. And that's what sets you apart. That's what makes people pause when you enter the room. That's what makes them wonder, what's their secret? Let them wonder. Because the truth is, you've earned this glow. With every decision to stay soft in a hard world. With every moment you've chosen hope over cynicism. With every breath you've taken that said, I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. So keep smiling, keep forgiving, keep growing, keep walking with purpose. Because the fire in you, that's the one thing time can't touch. Stay lit, stay grounded, stay alive.